What's up YouTube? For today's video, we have a full new Isle of Armor Tutor Moves team, part number 2. Today we're going to be showing off the second half of the new tutor moves. If you haven't watched the first video, make sure you do. It's the last video I uploaded on YouTube. If you guys haven't checked me on Twitch, make sure you do. That's where I do all my live streams and stuff. Link is in the description of the video. Now, last video I did a singles battle. Today I'm going to be doing a bonus double battle. We don't normally do double battles on the channel, but every now and then I like to throw them in. Plus, some of these new moves actually only work in doubles. So I thought it'd be really fresh and cool today to do some doubles battles. I've got 2 battles for you, and they were pretty interesting. All right, so the first battle, this one was against Steven. Steven's going to be having a Tauros and a Frostlass. Now, as soon as I seen Frostlass and Tauros, I'm starting to think Anger Point and Frostbest. Right, now I've got my Claydol and I've got my Grimmsnarl. Let me explain what both of those sets are. So firstly, we got the Flatter Burning Jealousy set. Obviously, you guys know what Flatter does. If you don't, it rises a special attack by 1 stage and confuses the opponent. In this stage, I'm going to be using Flatter against Tauros. Why I'm going to be using that for? I'm going to be using the Burning Jealousy move on Tauros. So say if you use, say if opponent gets a stat rise, use Burning Jealousy on them. It has 100% of a chance of burning, which is actually kind of cool. So we got the big old Tauros here, and I can already see what's going to happen here. It's Sweat City with an Anger Point, right? So I got to get rid of this Tauros. Now, on the Claydol set, we got Expanding Force there. Expanding Force gets a nice boost from the Psychic Terrain 1.5. And basically, I just had other couple of coverage moves. I got Scorching Sands on there as well. Basically, Scorching Sands is like Scald, has a 30% chance to burn. So, a pretty cool move there. Okay, so we got the Tauros there and the Frostless combination with the Frost Breath, which is going to crit the Tauros. Tauros has the Anger Point ability, which is going to give it an instant +6 in attack. So, these were pretty good teams, right? These guys were not playing games. So we got the confusion there, but unfortunately Tauros does not get confused and hit itself, and Grimmsnarl is going to get smacked in 1 shot. That was not a really good start there, and it gets a +1 to defense as well. So I'm in a lot of trouble, and of course the Frostlass gets 1 as well. So we got the a Trick Room Claydol here, which is sort of all based around the rest of my team. They weren't really fast Pokemon, and there was quite a few support-like Pokemon on my team, but it did actually have, worked out pretty well. So next Pokemon here is the Gourgeist. Now, Gourgeist has a Frisk ability. We're going to see that Assault Vest and the Focus Sash as well. Now, this has the cool move Poltergeist. So what Poltergeist does, it's a physical move. It's got 110 base power, and it actually only works on the opponent if they have an item. So say if they consumed an item or something like that, I've got the item Iron Ball on me too, so I could trick them the Iron Ball just before the Trick Room runs out. So I could hit them again with Poltergeist, right? Had some other supporting moves on that. So that one was a max health, and we got on that one max attack. Now we got the Claydol as max health and max special attack. So now we're going to go for the Poltergeist. It actually looks really, really cool there, and Frostlass almost goes down that +1 to defense from the from the Tauros Steel Spike. Actually made it live there. So I get that actual burn off there, which is really, really nice here on the Scorching Sands. That's had a 30% chance. I'm very, very grateful that happened. Now we got the Tauros going for the max Rockfall here. It's going to go for the Gourgeist, and since I burned it, it's actually going to live it, fairly well. That's quite, Gourgeist is pretty fat, guys. It's pretty bulky. So we got some sand on the field, which is only going to sort of help out my Claydol, but not so much more Gourgeist. So we got the Frostlass going for the Will-O-Wisp there. That's not going to matter much because I'm running like a really special attacking Claydol, right? Now, Claydol was one of the main attackers on my team, or special attackers in this case, so it was a very, very important Pokemon. Also is really good at setting up the Sandstorm too. So Tauros actually set that Sandstorm up, and it took its Frostlass out, so that was really, really good there. So we got rid of the Frostlass, and Tauros is burnt. However, Tauros still has +6 in attack, so it is it's still quite a problem there, even with that burn. Next Pokemon is Urshifu. I was like, man, this guy's bringing them all out, you know what I'm saying? So I can go for Trick or Treat. Trick or Treat can actually add that Ghost typing, then I can go for the Poltergeist, and that's sort of my strategy. Also, I had Trick Room on this thing too. Now, Gourgeist really didn't do a lot of damage. It was only like Poltergeist, the move Poltergeist. It's quite interesting, the move Poltergeist and the Pokemon Poltergeist. So it's kind of a little bit confusing. So we had Psychic Terrain, Expanding Force, and Scorching Sands, and Trick Room on this set as well. So this is kind of nice. I'm going to set up the Psychic Terrain. That's going to give me like a really, really big boost there. So I'm going to go for the Trick here. I want to get rid of the item on one of these Pokemon, being the Urshifu. I want to see what it's got, right? So I'm going to give that the Iron Ball, and I'm going to get rid of the Life Orb, right? So now Urshifu, I know it's going to obviously outspeed me under the Trick Room, but I did that to get rid of its item maybe for after the Trick Room sort of, got stalled out there, right? So unfortunately, it's going to use its signature move on my Claydol, and Claydol is going to go down. Inevitably, this would have happened already. There's no way I would have one-shotted the Urshifu, even the Tutor. So I was in a really, really bad spot right here. Like, I really had to bring on the fire, right? So we got the Taurus, hits herself in confusion, and it does quite a bit of damage there, which is nice. So we got some sandstorm damage going around here too. These battles were really, really long, like something else, because there was so much, like, there was sandstorm hitting like all 4 Pokemon. There was a burn, there was terrains on the field. It was really, really long, this first battle. Okay, so this is the key player on my team. Tangrowth. So Tangrowth actually gets Grassy Glide, which is like a really cool move, right? I've used this actually before on the past on Rillaboom, but I thought it was interesting that Tangrowth got it, right? So this Tangrowth set was pretty nice. Usually you'd probably use a grassy terrain Pokemon that had the ability, the Harry had the ability there, like Grassy Surge, but I wanted to do something kind of interesting. It was actually very hard to fit all these moves into my team. So if you are wondering, watching, I'm only using the new sort of style moves from the tuner moves to attack right. So Tangrowth with the grassy terrain, and we had Grassy Slide, Protect, and my favorite healing move. Now the idea here was to get the grassy terrain up. That gives me a +1 priority, right? So under the grassy terrain, max health, max attack, and it hits really, really hard there. Okay, so going for, that was the Trick or Treat on the Urshifu, and Tangrowth is going to throw up that grassy terrain, which is going to be really, really nice, right? That can also, basically, Tangrowth doesn't really want to be Dynamaxing too much. It just wants to spam that Grassy Slide. I've got Terrain Extender as the item too, and it's very, very bulky, right? Took that Air Ace like easy peasy there. Okay, so Taurus right is going to be the last one to act, and it hits itself in confusion and takes itself out from the flatter on my Grimmsnarl. That was awesome there. So really, essentially, Taurus really couldn't, it only attacked twice, which is like absolutely amazing. So now we got Gorgeist on a little bit of health. Gorgeist pretty much couldn't do like too much else. Like it could go for a Poltergeist, but that's pretty much it. I was pretty close to bring in one of my other Pokemon to, support the Tangrowth, right? So Urshifu is a problem here. It can weaken to probably about 2-hit KO after the first Aero Ace it did. So now we got Cinccino coming. As soon as I seen Cinccino, I was thinking, okay, I could Poltergeist the Urshifu here, right? Or maybe I could trick Cinccino and see what item it's got, because I could give it Life Orb. I know that's a risky play, but maybe it's got a really, really annoying item that, I might want to get rid of. If it's bad, I'm going to give it a Life Orb. So anyways, let's go for Grassy Glide. Grassy Glide hits really hard, but Cinccino does tank that one. I'm going to go for the trick there on Gorgeist. I could have gone for Urshifu, but I didn't see Urshifu as much for the threat, right? Because I thought that Urshifu would be going for my Tangrowth. So Urshifu is going to be going for the Air Race. Instead, it goes for my Gorgeist, and Gorgeist is down. I wasn't too worried about that because I actually wanted to bring in another Pokemon. Gorgeist pretty much done its job there. So we've got the Tail Slap here, and I actually received the Silk Scarf on my Gorgeist as well. So I guess it's a little bit of damage to the, this Minccino there. I always get Minccino and Cinccino always mixed up. So we got some Life Orb damage there. There's going to be my Tangrowth almost going down there. It was actually really nice that the grassy terrain is on the field. But I see the problem Pokemon at the moment as Cinccino. Now, some of these Pokemon, Cinccino could have Protect. Like, either of these Pokemon could have Protect, right? They may try and get around my Tangrowth that way too. Say if I go for the Cinccino, I was thinking, man, if that's got Protect, I'm going to be in a lot of trouble, right? So I'm going to bring in my Clawitzer. Now, this is a Choice Scarf Clawitzer, and it's got the Mega Launcher. So Mega Launcher is going to boost the power of, we've got on this one, Heal Pulse, right? Heal Pulse is not a new move, but it's going to heal up to 75% with the Mega Launcher. It's also got Terrain Pulse too, so that means it can go for the Terrain Pulse, which will be a under grassy terrain, which will get a boost from Mega Launcher too, which was like super cool because there was only such a small amount of moves it could do, right? So we got the Cinccino going for Protect. I had that Protect vibe like all along, just in case that happened. I actually went for the healing move on Tangrowth with my Choice Scarf Clawitzer there. So we're going to heal up that Tangrowth really nicely. Like, look at the health that it gets back there, almost to full, which is absolutely wonderful. And now Urshifu is going to go for the Aero Ace, and it's not going to take me out. So in a way, like, they played well there in a way that they went for Protect. They could have taken Tangrowth out if I didn't heal them up with Clawitzer. They probably didn't expect that, but that was a good play on their half there. I guess I just was prepared, I was prepared for something like that to happen. So now the problem is Minccino. I know that I can take it out now, and I was thinking, if I go Heal Pulse on Tangrowth again with Clawitzer, Right, Urshifu won't be able to take Clawitzer out. I'm fairly confident it can live like one hit, even a real like hard fighting one. So what I'm going to do is take Cincin out because that's a bit of a problem. It's quite fast and annoying, and with skill, I nearly said skill swap there. With its tail slap. Okay, so Tangrowth is back to full health again. Tangrowth is the main player here, and we've got the close combat from Urshifu. Clawitzer just manages to hang on 17 health, and we've got a little bit of recov on the grassy terrain. Now, Urshifu now has a -1 in defense, which is really going to favor my Tangrowth landing a priority grassy glide. I call this glide and slide all the time. You guys know what I mean, right? Now, Luxray's going to come out. I was thinking, is Luxray going to be a gut set? Maybe they'll go Protect on this one too. That was sort of what my thought process at the moment. Now, my thought process now is to go for Urshifu. And as I thought, the Luxray is going to go for Protect there, right? And we've got the Grassy Glide. And I'm going to be going for Urshifu now. And Urshifu is going to get... Yeah, that's going down like a sack of spuds, my friends. And that's pretty good, right? We've taken 3 Pokemon out now. And sorry, that'll be the 4th one. So there's a Luxray left. Now it's got the Guts and Flame Orb. So this thing's going to be popping off hard. So the last Pokemon to come in is the Lopunny. I've got 3 Pokemon left as well. New is a support Pokemon. We've got Coaching. What Coaching does, it's a you can only use it in doubles. It actually boosts the defense and the attack of an ally by 1 stage. Now the other move has got a Skitter Smack. Skitter Smack is a physical bug type move, right? And it's basically exactly like Struggle Bug, but it's a physical move instead of a special. So, and it drops the special attack by 1 stage. Now, the other move is, I'll show you there, is the Corrosion Gas there, which is really cool, Corrosive Gas. That gets rid of all the items, which is crazy too. So you can just get rid of all the items on the field if you want. Maybe if you've removed an item from your partner, if you used up a berry or something like that, that could be like really, really handy there. Okay, so Lopunny's going to go for a helping hand on Luxray here. I slid in with that I slid into those DMs of the Grassy Glide, and Luxray tanks it really well, going for the Fire Punch there, the Fire Fang, and man, that drops really, really hard. So Mew's going to be going for a Skitter Smack. Basically, let me explain this move in layman's terms, right? You get smacked by a bug. So Luxray, I've got to have to take out. I don't know if Lopunny's got any like attacking presence about it or whatever, or is this like simply a helping hand Lopunny to help out the other Pokemon. So we got some burn damage there. I'm going to be swapping the Mew out. This is a very bit of a risky play here. I thought Tangrowth would really be under pressure here, right? And they'd be going for that. So, I actually went for Dynamax Tangrowth instead of relying on Grassy Glide, right? Because I thought they probably wouldn't expect this play. They'll probably expect me to do something with maybe the Mew, right? And Clawitz was on a little bit of health, right? So at the moment, Tangrowth was the big threat on the field, right? So Tangrowth, I did remember my Dynamax candies, by the way, so you guys can't roast me. It's going to get like really, really bulky from that. I was confident I could probably just live that one. And I do want 56 health, which is absolutely brilliant. And now I can go for the max overgrowth here. And Luxray is going to get absolutely dominated. Oh, what happened there? Something actually happened there. While I was editing it, the Lopunny actually went for Protect there. That obviously got edited out. I wish the Versus Recorder would come back so I didn't have to chop in between every single turn. It's so annoying. But yeah, the Lopunny went for the Protect there. So I went for the Terrain Pulse with the Clawitzer and the Choice Scarf, and Lopunny got absolutely destroyed. He didn't use Protect. He used I'm not sure what Lopunny did there, but it didn't even get to attack. So that's pretty much the game, and I hope you guys enjoyed the first battle. That was crazy. Really good way to see off some of those new moves as well. All right, next person. Both these people were just complete randoms. I versed as well. So if this is like, the first Steven or Gerard, if this is one of you, let me know in the comment section of the video. Okay, so speaking of sweat, guys, this went up another level. Okay, so we got Terrakion and Passimian. So I'm like, okay, I smell a little bit of a Justified beat up here, but that could just be the vibe I was feeling. Okay, so straight away, like people in doubles, right, they love to Dynamax like right away to get that early lead. Like out of all the battles that I did, and there was people popping out legendaries and everything, and it was a really, really tough challenge with these Pokemon I was using because, I couldn't have like actual proper movesets. I could only have the new moves and maybe a couple of supporting moves. Anyway, back to the point. So we got the Passimian going for the beat up there. So every time, Terrakion gets hit, it's Justified activate. We're going to, obviously boost the attack by 1 stage. So the Justified is going to be activated 6 times in a row. It's kind of ironic when you think about it because the first battle, I had the Taurus got a +6 in attack. This was the battle I did right afterwards, and that got +6 in attack as well. But when you compare the two, Taurus and Terrakion is a much bigger threat than, Taurus will ever be, right? This thing's crazy. It can have, Rock Slide, This was a sort of popular thing. You could do it with like Whimsicott and stuff like that. I'm sure you people that have played a fair bit of doubles, even people that played a little bit of doubles, would have seen this sort of strategy before. But it plays around the board and it's fairly good if you can get it going right. So I think that's like the 6 justified there. This sort of stuff takes absolutely ages, right? There's 6 times. There's the 6 hits, right? Okay, so now we got the max rockfall, and I was like, well, rest in peace. Is it going to be Grimstyle or Tangrowth? And Tangrowth gets taken out in one shot. At this point, I was in despair, right? Because I'm like, man, Tangrowth is like the heart of my attack force, right? If I lose that, I've only got a sort of a semi-memey kind of Claydol to use. So I went for the Burning Jealousy. Burning Jealousy actually hits both, and I get the burn on the Terrakon. That was clutch there because there wasn't a 100% chance with the flatter up, right? So I thought about when I seen that matchup at the start to not go for flatter, Prankster flatter, but to go for Burning Jealousy instead. And since they were both fighting type Pokemon, it paid off. So Passman's actually going to swap out there, which is interesting. And now Virizion is going to come in. So I was like, okay. Right, so maybe I'd say Virizzion's going to be after my Claydol, right? So Grimstar's going to go for that flatter. What I was hoping here, once again, was maybe for the Terrakon to hit itself for confusion, something along those lines, or stall out a little bit of time to get like around these like crazy threads. It hits itself. Look how much that does in Dynamax with a burn too. That was so good, and Claydol just slides in with that Trick Room. That was perfection there. So now we've got the Trick Room up on the field. Terrakon and, Virizion are definitely going to be moving last. Grimstyle and Claydol, they got no worries. They are going to be moving first run. So I was thinking, should I get rid of Terrakon like, right now? Even with that burn, it's still a very, very big threat, right? So I decided I've got no choice here. I've got to go for the Dynamax Claydol. Probably not the Pokemon you'd expect to Dynamax, but I thought, I've got the setup, I've got the Trick Room. Let's see if we can get this one popping right. Also, with the Psychic Terrain, I thought I won't be able to set it up, but I still will be able to set it up with Expanding Force, right? And say if Claydol comes out of Dynamax, I'll be able to do a lot of damage. So go for that Burning Jealousy with Grimmsnarl again. That was a max health and max special attack Grimmsnarl, by the way, if I didn't mention that. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going for the Virizion instead. I thought about going for a Terrakon for a long time, but I thought, nah, I'll be able to take any move that it throws at me in Dynamax. Virizzion's going to go for a scummy Leaf Blade or something like that, right? So I thought to get rid of that first, right? Because plus it wasn't burned. Plus, Terrakon was still confused too, so there was a chance it, might take itself out. And unfortunately for me, it didn't. It went for the Max Rockfall there, and Max Rockfall is going to go for Grimmsnarl. And as you can see, even with the burn, Grimmsnarl gets absolutely annihilated there. But the main thing was there, I've got it burnt, and I've taken, Virizion out, and I've got the Trick Room up, so I've still got some sort of advantages, right? So now we're going to be going to Gorgeist there. I've got 2 Trick Room users, and in comes another Urshifu. I was like, oh man, here we go again, Deja Vu. So I'm going to frisk out that Weakness Posse and the Lumberry too. So okay, that's interesting. So I noticed a lot of people like to run Dynamax and Weakness Posse too. So just bear that one in mind when you attack them and stuff. Okay, so we're gonna go for Poltergeist. It's kind of cool. You actually attack the opponent with the item, and Poltergeist is gonna destroy the Terrakon, and that's gonna go down. So that was really good bearing that Pokemon. I didn't want any more trouble with that. So now go for the Max Mindstorm. I am under the Psychic Terrain, and Urshifu gets absolutely bodied by the Claydol. That was really, really good there. I'm actually in a very good position now. I've sort of like crawled my way back into this game, right? But it wasn't over yet. There was still some threatening Pokemon. So we had the Minchao coming out here. I was like, okay, well, I can definitely use a Psychic move against that. But what if that has a Sash or a Weakness Posse? Like, what if it leaves? And then Conkeldurr comes out. I was like, man, this is a bit of a problem. So what I did right is I went for the trick. I want to see what sort of items, this Pokemon has. So I swapped the items around. I got an Iron Ball to Mienshao and a Cobra Berry on the Mienshao, which is interesting. Conkeldurr actually outspeeds me in the Trick Room, and I'm going to get knocked off here and Ice Punch at the same time. I knew that I tricked the Iron Ball there, but I thought it was worth the wait just to see what sort of item it did right. So we're going to go for that Max Mindstorm, and Mienshao is going to go down. I could have probably avoided necessary damage there if I tricked the item to the other one. I just wanted to see what item it was, right? Just in case. Imagine if that was a Focus Sash, right? That could have been really bad. So the next Pokemon is the Passman. All that's left is Passman and Conkeldurr. Conkeldurr is a very good Pokemon though. Does a lot of damage. I'm now out of Dynamax, so I'm pretty much facing an Ice Punch to the face from this thing. So I thought to go for the Gorgeist and with the Gorgeist and the Poltergeist, and we're going to go for the Passman there, and that does some really, really good damage. Doesn't take it out quite, but does a lot. So Conkeldurr is going to go for my Claydol, and Claydol is going to go down. But man, Claydol was MVP there. That absolutely got me back in the game. I was very impressed with Claydol there. However, I still got 3 more Pokemon. So we got the beat up there. This thing's got a choice scarf, as we've seen from. It's quite nice with Poltergeist because you can see, not only can you attack them if they got an item, you can see what item they got. So it's kind of cool. It's sort of like showing them what their item was, but you know, you can just use it. Okay, so we got the coaching Mew here. The Passman's going to go for the beat up. Obviously, very scared of Mew, thinking I've got psychic moves, which, funnily enough, I don't. The more problem Pokemon here is going to be the Gorgeous. So I'm going to go for the coaching. I'm going to blow that little red whistle, and we're going to get a +1 in defense on Gorgeous and a +1 in attack. Now we got Conkeldurr there, not attacking the Mew, going for the Gorgeous, and I lived that so easily there due to the coaching. And now I'm going to attack the Poltergeist. Sorry, not the Poltergeist, the Passman. All these P Pokemon with its own item, and down goes Passman. The shiny actually looks pretty fresh there. That melon's like, that's like a nice yellow. Okay, so Conkeldurr is the last Pokemon. I still have Clawitzer in the back. Now, the problem I see is Mew can't really do anything. It's only got Skitter Smack. It's a fully support Pokemon. Let's go into Clawitzer. I think Gorgeous will be a big target, right? Because it's doing a lot of damage. Now, Conkeldurr's going to go for the Ice Punch, and Gorgeous is going to go down, but that's fine. I've got Clawitzer here, and that Psychic Terrain is up on the field, and you guys know what's coming. We're going to be firing off a terrain-based move, which is really nice with the Terrain Pulse, and both battles I finished with the Grass and then the Psychic Terrain, and Conkeldurr gets absolutely demolished there. And that is the second battle. Hope you enjoyed the doubles battles. If you enjoyed the video, drop a like and a comment if you like these new moves, and I'll catch you tomorrow maybe for another video. Peace out, people.